how to draw the eyes and the nose. Okay. Uh, when it comes to drawing the eye, I think one of the biggest problems people have is like understanding that the eye is a sphere. Well, of course, we call it um, we call it the eyeball, right? The operative word being ball. So if it's a ball, that means that it's a sphere, right? Um, it is not a just a circle like that, right? We want to imagine this as like an orb, that has volume. It has depth. It has to a certain degree, even some weight to it, right? So, when you're drawing the eyeball, you want to imagine like this is a form that um, that in relation to other other objects, like for example, like the eyelid and things like that. Um, Generally, that it's going to wrap over it like this, right? And then you have like this other fold going around it like that. Okay. Um, One thing that some people do. Oops. Okay. Let me just move this over here. Okay. There we go. One thing that some people do is when they draw the eye, it's almost like, no, I'm sorry, it's not when they're drawing the eye, but when they think of the eye, um, it's almost like if you had like a rod like going through it like this, right? And this is just like a tool so people can really understand like how this fold works. So it's almost like you have like a rod going through it, and then you have like some drapery coming over like this, and then draping under it like that. I think people do this just as a means to be clear in terms of like where things um, are connecting or inserting for that matter. Okay. So it's not that, no, of course, like you don't draw, you don't draw these rods going over it, but it's just something to help like keep things um, to keep in mind like as you draw. Okay. So the interesting thing about the eye, is that it has all these interesting folds that are going all around it. Okay. Of course, you erase the rod later. Okay. But that's the general idea. Okay. And of course, in terms of the actual the pupil, yes, the pupil is is a hole. It is literally a hole, because that's why we call this colored part that's surrounding it the iris. And like a camera, like a camera iris, it opens and closes um, depending on um, the, the light that's around it. Also, because of this fold that's here, right? Believe it or not, we're going to have a certain degree of shadow. And actually, what happens to the iris is that this top part tends to fall into shadow like that. And also, that also helps, with the impression of it being more three-dimensional. Okay. Um, Another thing um, you should want to keep in mind is also because it's this wet this wet form that there's going to be some highlight here, and some people call this like a specular highlight. Um, Now it's best to really consider like what the light source is. Usually, in most cases, when we're drawing things, we imagine like the light, coming like from this direction, generally speaking. So the light is coming down like that. Then, yeah, we're going to get um, the light reflecting off of this form here, and it comes off like a little white spot. Um, Now, of course, depending on the situation, some people might add a little bit more in there, which is fine. You know. But don't get too oops, don't get too crazy with it, because um, you don't want to do this stuff like they you see like with anime eyes, where they have like specular highlights like all over the place, like this kind of thing, right? Um, which in a way it looks interesting, but actually it's that's a little bit crazy. Okay, so watch out for that. All right. Another thing you want to keep in mind as you're drawing the eye is that excuse me, someone's not cooperating. Um, that as it's sitting inside um, um, the folds of the eyelids, right? That keep in mind that the eyelids, are also three-dimensional, and it's almost like um, you're getting like this step down kind of effect. Um, this one here is fine. Yeah, you want to. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. That's just the drawbacks of drawing digitally. Um, yeah, that it's stepping down. It's almost like steps, right? So that's always giving that sort of um, another that three-dimensional feel to it. Okay. Um, Another thing um, you want to keep in mind, like as you're well, let me take it to another aspect. It's like, okay, look, we have the eye, we drew an eye here, right? All right. The problem is, all right. So how do we relate this to like drawing um, a person, right? Oops, excuse me. There we go. Yeah. So yeah. So how do we get this to relate to, yeah, like actually drawing this on a human being, right? Okay. So let's move into that. Okay. Uh, when you draw the when you're drawing the eyes, um, on a person, right? We don't want to just draw these flat kind of graphic things here, right? And think like that's gonna work, you know. Now, if you're doing something for a kind of like a cartoonish kind of design, that's fine, you know. Knock yourself out, but um, when you're drawing the yeah, when you're drawing the eyes, you really want to imagine, not imagine, but visualize for yourself that the eyes are sitting inside of the skull, right? You don't want to do it where it's just like this thing, like it's just like a flat circle like that, right? You really, as you draw it, as you draw it, you want to think of it as being a sphere. So when you draw, make your lines kind of soft in a way, and like feel it. Actually, feel feel what you're doing as you're drawing it. Visualize um, visualize that as a 3D form, not not a um, not a two-dimensional graphic shape, even though it is a two-dimensional graphic shape. But as you're drawing it, you don't want to think of it in those terms, because it's definitely going to affect your drawing, and things are going to start to look flat, and you're going to be wondering like what happened, right? So here, I have my sphere sitting inside my quick skull here, and so these eye sockets are almost like these little caves in which the our little orbs are sitting inside. So when it comes time to actually like drawing it, I'm gonna think like I did before, that the eyelid is gonna go is pulling over this form. It's pulling over this form, not straight across. And then the other fold is like pulling out from underneath it, like that. Okay. Right. So I'm sorry, even though this is very small, I think this is reading as something that is a is a 3D form here. Okay. Um, Another tip that might be helpful for you guys in terms of drawing the eyes is okay, like how how do we place them? How do we space them and stuff like that. Okay. Here's a something that you should just always remember. Okay, and it's just one of those things you gotta know. Just gotta know. The eyes, just where you place them from this point of the head to this point of the head. The head measures roughly um, three eyes across, three eye measurements across. So if this is like 1, this eye is 2, this here is 3, another eye here is 4, and another one here is 5. So you have like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So five. So that measures like five across. So when I measure out when I measure out my eyes, or at least when I'm blocking things in and what have you, um, I just think, okay, like there's one eye in the center, and then the same measurement, I put an eye on either side of that, and then I make sure there's enough space next to that eye, to like the farthest eye over here, and then to the farthest side on over there, and then that's usually is a safe way to make sure that things don't get out of hand uh, as I'm drawing here. So all right, so keep that in mind. Okay. Um, One other thing. Okay, one last thing, and I hope this might be helpful. Um, Oops. Okay, move this guy over here. All right. So another thing you guys should keep in mind, as you're drawing. Okay, well let's okay. Well, this is really like very like diagrammatic actually, right? Um, you know, we're not drawing people who look like this exactly, right? Unless it's for the Terminator or something like that, right? Um, when it comes to like drawing, let's say I don't know, some character or something like that. Um, it's not so much that we are like just drawing this anatomy just literally as it is, right? We want this understanding like to inform our design. One of the really cool things that um, at Disney, or like a general like run of the mill like Disney kind of character design. One of the things that is kind of like a staple of like Disney design, um, and they're very good at it actually, and it kind of lent itself to like why, um, even though um, these characters that they're drawing are cartoonish, but they still manage to have this kind of um, appealing quality to it. Was that like even though um, generally they're drawing like a cartoon kind of thing here, they would always set the eyes like in a skull, right? So you always see like this kind of relationship with some Disney character, um, whatever, whoever it is, they'll always have this kind of thing going. And I think it worked very well actually, because it kind of gave like that sense of it not just being a cartoon, but a cartoon that was um, believable and had um, some sense of like weight and depth and what have you. So yeah, it'll be something like this. I'm just making this out of my head. To be honest, I'm not uh, drawing any particular character. I mean, this can be you know um, cartoon guy, whoever here. So okay, so something like this, right? But my point is that um, this relationship you see here, this relationship, um, a lot of the Disney characters have that sense that the eyes are actually sitting inside a skull, and then that was of course there are some characters that definitely do have a very flat 2D design. Of course they do, but generally they have that kind of relationship, and they'll take this to like varying degrees sometimes. Yeah, it's usually like this kind of relationship you'll see for the eyes. Like they'll like have the uh, socket for the skull. This is very stylized, and then they'll have like the eyes sitting in like that. And so that's the socket for the skull, and then yeah, the eyes are sitting in here like this. This could be princess whoever, and for some reason it always it always looked kind of um, interesting and appealing actually. Another thing that so might help, like when you guys do that, please remember, yeah, they would have like this kind of line of or pathway. So like if the pupils are here like that, they would draw like a point from here to here in terms of like this part of the eye, and the outermost part of like where the eye socket is. Of course, this is very designed because eye sockets are not shaped like this, right? Only in cartoons, are they shaped like that. Um, but eye sockets look more like this over here. They look like actually kind of like I don't know, like sloping squares in a way. Um, but anyway, my point is that um, yeah, they would have this kind of relationship to I don't know, I guess like to line everything up. I guess it just looks more appealing, or better designed, that way. So okay, so what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna pause here for today, and yeah, keep this short and sweet. And I hope this was a little helpful. If you want some more information, about like drawing the eyes, I'll be happy, I'll be happy to do that. And Actually, I did say I was gonna do something on the nose, but I'm gonna do that in the next video because this one's getting a little bit long. Okay. All right. Stay tuned, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Okay. All right. See you next time. All right. Bye bye.